Hi, everyone. This is Gaia Tomlinson with Ardent Energy Solutions. Welcome to my podcast, Unvarnished Ventures. It is a podcast that would display new businesses. We talk about the sweat, blood, and tears that goes into creating new businesses, and hopefully, we're going to share some messages. And we really want to show you the unvarnished version of what creating a business looks like. And I am very excited to have my first guest ever on my podcast. And I am here with my good friend, Enohora Amaruke from Atapik. Welcome, Enohora. So good to
Thank
see
you,
you.
thank you, thank you, Gaia.
Pleasure seeing you. So tell us a little bit about yourself and your business.
Hmm. Thank you. That's a wonderful question if you ask me, because with every stage in life, a different variation, comes to answering that question. But I would say I would call myself an innovator. I would call myself someone that likes to take on challenges. Because never have I seen myself not really looking forward to the next thing. And as my company, I would call my company the future of work. You know, an AI powered workspace where everything is integrated and you don't have to deal with different data silos. And this is just something I kind of stumbled upon.
Mhm.
But that's what we do, and the goal is simple: just to empower businesses with enterprise grade software, at a affordable price.
So I have been using your platform, and I just want to give a little glimpse of what it is actually. So Inahora's platform is powered by AI, and you can actually, it's a great tool for marketing. Because if you think about the current marketing that we're doing, we have our LinkedIn open, we have our spreadsheets open, we have our whatever mail service we use, MailChimp or whatever it is that we use, that's open. There are multiple windows open. Whereas in Atypic, if you go into the site, you have your portal, and you can start with the lead generation. You can literally click at find leads, and then you can just sort it as you would on LinkedIn, and it will drive the information from LinkedIn, and then it will create a lead sheet for you. And it will have emails if you want it, or you can go while you're on the platform, you can reach out to people from to LinkedIn, or you can just send an email inside the platform without having to exit your Outlook. You need to write the email. He can write the email. You can write the email through an AI. If you want to create a campaign because now you created this big lead sheet, you can do that through the platform. You don't need to exit the platform. And everything is live, right? Explain that live part of the lead generation, please.
So that's why I really was looking forward to this conversation, because we're talking about, like, the on the pre-stage of every business. All right, if you
Mhm.
think about it, everything that you've mentioned is something that, if you were to start a business today, is something you would consider, right? Whereas you're thinking of, how am I going to sell? How am I going to market? How am I going to do all of this? And what we just did was, well, honestly speaking, Guy, I stumbled upon this, right? Because when I started a business, I told you, we started with a very simple thing. Not simple, but with one vertical, which was, hey, we make computers self-healing. But in the business journey so far, you know, I've come to realize, like, to start a business in 2025, it's not just, we might see like the presses and people say, announcing the nice stuff, but if you think about it as a business owner, it's there's a lot that goes into it, right? Or what are your thoughts on that, Guy? Tell me.
Oh, in going into the business, what happened?
Yes.
Oh my God, what doesn't happen? It starts with an idea. You get so excited. You want to go on market. You want to bring a service that you feel like you're feeling a void in the marketplace or solving a problem. And then I feel like it's like a Pac-Man thing. You're probably too young to know. Do you know what a Pac-Man is?
Oh no, come on, guy.
Little, little
I
game where
I
you
did play
like start
that,
going and going, like hit the wall and then back, like
man.
guy, it's like a Lego piece, and like you hit another wall, and then you come. And so that's how I feel. And by the time you're done, like you have this big bruise on your head, and like you have a backache, you question like, why am I doing this again? And then you wake up the next day because you realize I love the idea of solving this problem. But yeah, it's not very smooth sailing. I mean, I think that's the thing with LinkedIn is we see a lot of beautiful things. I'm very happy that people are having great jobs and a lot of success. But I think there's so much that happens until that gets on stage or that curated image is on there. And lead generation is a big problem. And I think that's one thing that you're solving with your platform by integrating all together is the lead generation. So that's a great solution. You have some other components to your platform as well. It's not just marketing. Um, but yeah, so my journey, and I've been an entrepreneur for like 17 years now. So I never learn. I keep creating new businesses because I didn't have enough headaches
No, that's the
already.
thrill
I'm
of
like, I'm feeling good. Let me get some migraine today. But no, I love it. I love that.
it.
You know what I love about it is like it's an idea and then it becomes reality. And then next thing you know, you have your legacy. Like we installed solar panels on LA Lakers, right? That's our legacy. Or we did some work with Disney. So that's our legacy. That makes me very happy and that makes me proud. And that's, I think, why I'm in this entrepreneurial journey. But we all have our stories. Like, what is your biggest war story if you wanted to share one?
Hmm. So
The
you
most
just said,
painful part of this whole thing.
so I'm about to tell you, I'm going to give you a very nice story, but you said on two things that I just want to like, kind of like, I understand you when you said the trail and the legacy. All right. When you said that, it's like, but if you ask me what's my war story in all of this, okay, so listen to this. Um, I had about maybe less than $1,000 in my bank, all right, and I had just invested about $500 into like a deal of mine, thinking, you know how business is when they tell you like you use money to make money,
Hmm.
all right. I was like, okay. I looked at everything. I was like, okay, this is a good play. Let me invest this $500. I did that, and that didn't bring anything, right? But then the following week, uh, software vendor, like an account executive, reached out to me. Mind you, I had less than $1,000 in my bank, and this person was showing me like a way to like find leads online, all right? And at the end of it all, um, she hit me with a price. I said, "How much is it?" She told me $10,000.
Oh my God.
I was like, I just spent $500. I had zero return. I have less than $1,000. That day it hit me, it dawned on me. It's like, oh, this is not, because when I initially started, I was like, wow, nobody makes computers heal themselves. And I was like, I can make a computer heal itself. Your computer is messing up. Just talk to your computer and it will heal itself. But in my mind, I was like, oh, once I get this to the public, I had a little bit of traffic. I was like, oh, once I get this to the public, like we're just going to boom. And that day, after that call, that they asked me to pay $10,000 for leads, I was like, that was my wake up call. That was my wake up call to everything. I was like, the business
Where
journey.
the idea came to you. No,
Yeah, the
the ten
business.
thousand dollars did it.
Yeah, I was like, okay. I was like, okay, bet.
So yeah,
And but what about you? Right? You've been in this for 17 years. What is I'm pretty sure you have a really nice one. Tell me.
you're asking for a war story?
Yes, your war
Oh my
story.
God, I have so many, and 17 years, you accumulate a lot of them. But I think the biggest one I have to say is when we started this company, 17, we actually started as Vaha Energy, and now we transitioned into Ardent Consulting over the last 6 months. But when we started Vaha Energy as a solar integrator, um, we started all this marketing, and like you, we had such little money, and I spent it all on marketing materials. And then we went to the market, and 3 days later, this is in 2007, Lehman Brothers collapsed. Everybody lost their money, and then the market just went upside down. And we are trying to sell solar, which is very new at the time and super expensive. And nobody had the money to do it. And I remember sitting around on the floor with stacks of printed materials for the marketing and thinking, there goes my dollars and there goes the business. There's like, there's no business and I have no savings left. But and we just had a baby. I have a 6 month old. We just moved across the country to do this business from New York to California. We just spent all the money on marketing, and the economy basically just collapsed.
Wow.
And but I think what happens is when you go that low and there's no no lower level to go, there's only survival. You gotta swim back up. And
It sparks something.
I don't remember panicking. I remember constantly cranking solutions. And then we actually found out Anaheim Public Utilities had money for solar. They were trying to give grants. Nobody was asking for it. So I asked them to maybe consider a pilot program for an income qualified people. So they did. And then we connected with Habitat for Humanity. We did a project with them. We got on the newspapers. And then once we made it to newspapers, people started calling us, and I had a business. It's wild. It is
Mm,
wild. That was a wild ride.
mm, you said something. The newspaper. So that was what year was that?
2007. So it was actually 18 years ago, not even 17.
Wow, 2007. I wish that's what I low key pray for nowadays, because I had the Voyager of South Carolina wrote an article about me, and I did nowadays. So now if you Google me, like that's one of the first things that come up, and that makes me feel very very happy. Because they saw what we were working on in the company, and then they reached out to us, did an interview, and then yeah, they
That's
gave us.
amazing.
I know, you know, on the good aspect of things, right? We've talked about like all the bad, not
Mhm.
really the bad, the ugly of business.
Hardship, the hardship, because there is
Yeah,
hardship,
honestly.
honestly, yeah. But have you persevered through it, right?
So my thing is, what is something you would tell me, right? So you've done this 17 years, amazing experience, amazing person you are.
Thank you.
But me, I am a year and a half into my own journey. All right, what is one advice you would tell me?
I think the biggest thing I learned, and I think this is very important, I think a lot of the entrepreneurs forget this, is to celebrate. Celebrate your wins, because at the beginning, especially, they're far and in between. It's so easy to lose heart. It's so easy to see the stuff that is not happening, but stuff is also happening, right?
Mm.
And we bought a Dom Perignon champagne after we closed our first commercial deal. We drank it a year later. Drink it the day off. Why we waited for a year? What were we waiting for? You know what I mean? Like, you buy it in
Yeah.
that moment and then you don't even think of popping it because you're already moved on to the next problem. So you have to
Hmm.
pause and say, I did this part. I've come this far. And I actually, I'm gonna read it to you. I have a planner here. I'm a big nerd, right? I have planners and things. On my planner, there's a today's message, and I love this one, and I'm gonna read this to you. Remember how far you've come, not just how far you have to go. You're
Mm,
not where you want to be, but neither are you where you used to be. And that
mm,
I think needs to be celebrated more often.
mm,
So here's
mm.
my question for you. What
Okay.
matters the most for you? How do you want to scale? How do you see yourself? Like what is in your heart when you do this business?
So so let me take you on the story, another storyline. All right.
I love stories. Go.
So this is a story of how I met Santos. One thing I actually am liking about this, just a side note, is I get to actually talk about, like, look back and all of this. But I met Santos, I think in March. Right, Santos is another founder. He already had, I think, a
I met
couple
him, yeah.
users. Yeah, his platform was already at over like 100 users when I met him. He's an early stage founder just like me, but um, we spoke and we connected because in this lifestyle, if you're being honest, being an entrepreneur or being a founder, it gets very very lonely.
Mm-hmm.
It gets very very lonely. But me and Santos were able to make a connection, right? And through that, we've grown together and we've grown this company with my other co-founder, Dola. Um, but he brought a different perspective into the business. All right. This was something that we were already like talking about, but he said it when we had like our team gathering. We went to the beach. It was very, very nice. I have that video on my social media for this. He said the goal now is to empower other people, to let people use our platform to make millions of money, millions of dollars, right? Which, if we are able to provide value to one person, right, and that person is able to make a lot of money with the help of our platform, and we do that for multiple people, right? We believe India is where our success lies,
Mm-hmm.
being in the ability to scale, scale with value, giving business owners the ability, and the tools, to take them to that next level. Because I know how hard it is, right? And this is the early stage, so I think that's my driving force right now. That's what I'm really holding on to. Whereas I know, all when all is said and done, if I'm able to just help one person get richer, then I'm fine with that. What about you?
No, I think we have the same outlook because, well, we were looking for our company's goals. Where do we want to be? Where we're going to take this? What's our forecast? And the thought that came to me was not necessarily my revenue forecast, but the forecast of how much I'm going to save for other people. And I have
Mm,
this mission of saving $1 billion in the next 10 years for my clients through the energy solutions I find. Because me providing that value clearly is going to bring me value. But I think I'm going to get such a kick out of the fact that, like, these people got this extra money that they can use for, I don't know, whatever in their organization. Maybe they'll promote someone very valuable. Maybe they'll be able to hire more people. Maybe they'll be able to bring more tools. They'll get a topic in every computer so people can generate leads a lot faster. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Why waste your money on something you don't have to waste? It's almost like watering a garden. You can hose it like it's tropics, or you can have drip irrigation. You can still have the same outcome. This one just uses so much water, whereas the drip irrigation uses only a percentage
less
of it,
water.
still does the job. And that's what we need. We
Hmm.
need to do the job. We don't need to just spend tons and tons of money to get where they want to get to. And I think, again, that comes from scaling through value. And I think
Yeah,
that's
true
what I'm
value.
gonna name this episode, Scaling Through Value. I love it. I'm taking
There you
from
go.
you, obviously.
No, so You said something that I wanted to come back on. Uh, this is a question for you personally. I am curious. You said something about legacy,
Mm.
right? When all of this is all said and done, what do you want the legacy? What do you want your legacy to look like?
I think because we are in sustainability and the whole point of this starting this whole journey was to do our share to offset the carbon footprint that we are all humans are creating. I think the bigger of the clearance I do, the more I will feel great. I had a statistic, I should have brought it with me. Through all the solar panels we installed to date, I think we had like millions of acres of land forested. Like, I want that number to grow. I want our contribution to sustainability to be seriously meaningful. We started as a drop in the bucket, but I'd like to have a bigger bucket. You know what I mean? I think that would be our legacy. Because it's necessary, especially with data centers coming on board, there will be so much more need for power. I don't think people are aware how much power is being used. And we all see the value of AI for sure, and we are in awe of it. And it's not going to go away. This is a new technology. We just have to be cognizant about bringing that power through sustainable ways so we don't hurt the earth while we are creating this amazing new tool. What do you
Hmm.
want your legacy to be?
What do I want my legacy to be? Hmm. Hmm. When all this is all said and done, I just want to look back and you know how they said in the old days they wrote songs about legends and stuff like that. I want something like that, but probably mine will be written by AI because it will be in like 2060 or something. But I want to I want to have some say in how we prepare the next generation for technology.
Mm,
Because that's something that's did you see the AI robots and what Elon said recently
mm.
about like labor and all? Yeah, so I believe that in the next 10 to maybe 20 years, right, the future of work is going to change. Right?
Yeah, it's
And
already changing.
it's already changing. So at least I want to leave a standing mark. Either the name Atapi be remembered or the name Inara Morike be remembered, as at which, in aiding for the future of work. I think that's the legacy I want.
I think you will get there. You're so young, you
Mm.
have so much you can do, and I love your platform. Well, thank you so much for joining me today. This was super fun. I can't imagine a better beginning for my podcast. I'm even more excited about future episodes thanks to you. And
Oh, you're
this
welcome.
was a great conversation. I really enjoyed talking to you. And thank you
Thank
for
you so much. Thank you for having me.
my pleasure. All right, everyone. I had fun. I hope you guys enjoy watching us as well. And we look forward to seeing you in my next episode. Bye.
Bye.